In the beginning, there was the heart. And the heart pulsed, charged, unified with the potential of all things. That pulse still resides in you today, in every moment of beauty, because in every moment you are the beginning. In every moment. This is a completely different way, and actually a completely normal way of looking at a beginning. A mental projection, the mind, would say, when there is a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. Not so an expansive energy. An expansive energy, the reason why energy can expand the way it does is because it only has a beginning. It always stays in that place where everything is fresh. Is the reason why the label new has been put upon it. Only those listening to the word new looked at it from a mental place. So they said, if there is something new, there must be something old. No. No, there cannot be something old if expansive energy only has a beginning. The beauty about you, the magnificence of earth and of the field of experience is that every single moment, which is more total than you can imagine, everything is created again. Again. All that ever was is swept up, put through the motions, neutralized, cleaned up, and presented to you again. And you as creator, tell yourself, as the things that you are creating, tell yourself, what do I want in this moment? What do I want? It's a completely different type of wanting. Because I know that before I have said, the question is not what do I want, but why am I here? Today I say, much like my brother has said, I am here to choose. I am here to create. And the concept of wanting does not reflect back to the self, as you have known the self, in expansive energy at least. Because the concept of wanting, what do I want, had always been, always, attached to desire. Desire that only existed in the physical realm, that had no place in the higher realms. But now you sit here with what you would call an activated akene. Now you sit here not understanding how magnificent you are. Because I look at you and I read your hearts and I read your minds, and many of you right now, and those who would listen to this afterwards, say, I don't have an activated akene because I have not done my routine this morning. Oh no? You are alive, aren't you? You exist, don't you? In the beginning, there was the heart. And the heart beat with a pulse of potential for all things, and you today still are that heart. And as you pulse, as you beat, as you expand and shrink, as you take within you all dimension and become all dimension, and then take all dimension back into you. You, my beloved friends and brothers and sisters and children and parents, everything that you are is the Akene, is the heart of all things. You have been looking at theory while you are the practice. Your mere existence is the practice. You see? You are proof of God. You are proof of everything that needs to be proven ever. And so, expansive energy always sits in the beginning. And it pulses out this beautiful energy that holds all potential and all choice. And it moves back into itself. Only as it does not move into what you have before called the little me, the little self, but the self as Kutumi had just been describing. The self. When I say that expansive energy goes out and shrinks, I do not mean it becomes smaller once more. I mean it bleeds into all dimension. And as I have told you yesterday, dimension is size. As you expand, as you grow bigger, at a certain point you come to a place where you realize that you are in a completely new space where you are once more very small, but you have not shrunk. You see? And so you see a whole new field open up where you can once again expand into. This is what happens when one enters into your field. As Kutumi has said, in the illusion of separation. You see? Because all of a sudden, there are two observers. All of a sudden, there are two visions for consciousness, and the dimension increases. And you have more space. It is so very interesting, and I'm going to talk about love in a minute. But it is so very interesting that many, many humans would think that if there is another present, there is less space. If you are in bed, and you know how you like to be in bed and stretch out and think, oh man, here I am in bed, completely open. And then the other steps into the bed and you think, oh, there is less space for me now. No, that is old human thinking. That is what your governments have done, that which you no longer say yes to. They try to convince you that the more there are of you, the less space there is. Ha! You are a dimension onto yourself, and you are a focal point of infinite awareness. You know what that means? Infinite awareness, looking at itself, reflecting infinity and making that which to a mental mind would be infinite, more infinite. With each and every action you undertake, each and every one, there is more space. More space. And I'm not talking now about the illusion of space. I'm talking about space. The illusion of space is that there seems to be a space between this body right now, me, and you. That is the illusion of space. Because if you move beyond the illusion of space, then we are space. And then the space in between us, which would be the illusion, matters not. Because we are space. We are form. We are time. Yes, we are death. And we are separation. What do you want? You want to take back your creational power. You want to take back the God that you are. And so it was that many voices who understood the heart that was beating for a very long time, and were training others, voices with names that I will not mention now, but voices that spoke on planet Earth for a very long time, understood that more space was coming in. They have seen themselves so very long as teachers. They have looked at themselves so very long as the ones who were going to change the paradigm. There's only one who can change a paradigm, and it is you. Only one. Never let change be dependent on another. Ever. Never. Understand that you are the one. Understand that you are the self in a most expansive way. And so, as the path was walked for many years, and many of these teachers who would step into a channeling process like is occurring right now, and who would organize these events and these seminars and these retreats and write their books and bring forth the message, very often could not expand into the space that is all of you. When I say all of you, I do not mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. When I say all of you, I mean all of you. All of you who call yourself different names, much like this body has the name hand and the name foot, but it is the same body. It is the same self. A while ago, in June 2008, halfway through the month, many of these speakers have gathered, talking about new energy in an old energy way, making it into a show, a facade. The problem with a facade is that usually you don't see yourself. And so, as the time came to expand into you, there was fear. The mind said, whoa, 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 hold on a minute here. Hold on a minute. What are we going to do next? Gossip. What are we going to do next? How could it be? This cannot be the end. No, of course not, because expansive energy only has a beginning. That is what was forgotten. That is exactly what was forgotten. Expansive energy can only ever begin It is what humanity has forgotten. That is why humanity gave itself a past. And of course, if there is a past, there must be a future for the past to be written in. So that is the problem of humanity. That it does not begin, but goes on. You see? The heart of all things does not count its heartbeats because it is very bad at math. Because the only answer ever in interdimensional math can be 1. 9 times 2, 1. 3 times 6, 1. The root of 6,442, 1. 1, 1, 1. That's all there is. 1. You see? And even that is a slightly human concept. Because what does 1 mean? What does 1 mean? 1 means love. There is one love, which moves beyond the conditional and even the unconditional love. Unconditional love was nice for a while. We tried it. But what is it really, unconditional love? It is a dual. As Katumi has also talked about old and new. It is dual because unconditional love entails the possibility for conditional love. Yes? One love, however, is not about one in the sense that there is a two. It is about the fact that one expands. Much like concentric circles as a stone is thrown into the water. The circles do not think as if they move away from the stone, hey, look, I was just created. This is interesting. Look, oh, there's my creator. Oh, there's my creator. It's going away, going away, going away. Oh, I'm dead. You know? That's not how the concentric circle thinks. The concentric circle is the stone. An expanded version of itself, you see. And as the stone will move down into the pond, on the surface these circles remain for a while and then drift into what you would call nothingness and what I and my beloved brother would call beginning. Imagine how life would be, how life can be and how life will be if there is only beginning. It took me a while to understand, to get the point. I remember being alive on Earth when many of the Kutumi information was already available. And I used to read it, go through it and think, see each other new in every moment. So I tried it, walking around the planet, seeing everything new in every moment, not understanding a clue about what I'm telling you right now. That there is only beginning, you see. You bring beginning to earth. You bring the beginning of the experience back to where it belongs, to the heart of all things. This channel, my beloved friend, and many others have put upon what you would call their websites the video of the beloved Jill, who is a brain scientist and who talks about the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. Yes? When she goes into the right hemisphere of the brain, there is only beginning. That is, my beloved darlings, that is nirvana. You see? That is the space of beginning. It is the Garden of Eden. It is the moment of creation. It is nirvana. It is when you fall in love. It is when you have an orgasm. It is when you experience joy in this moment. It is a moment of beginning. And so my beloved friend Kutumi asks me, do I see the difference in you? Yes. Yes, because now you are emitting an energy of beginning. Just recently, there was a conversation on Earth. Well, there are many conversations on Earth between this channel and the body sitting over there, and others. And they talked about yearning. They talked about what yearning, what you would translate into old energy as desire, but desire which comes out of the heart space, is all about. Now, yearning in expansive energy is like a white piece of paper with potential of drawing, of beauty, of writing, of all of these things. And that is who you truly are. You are white sheets of paper, continuously filling up yourself. The desire to be filled is the reason why you were created in the first place. And so long you have looked outside of you and you have said, oh, I'm going to fill myself up with this and maybe a little bit of this. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, I'm going to have some of this. And yeah, oh, some of that, you know. I want some of that. And you were never truly filled. Never, because it was only penciled in. And it was like this magic marker that even when a line would be drawn and another line, even before the figure could be complete, it started to dissipate already. Now, the difference between expansive energy and love, one love, and what I'm just describing now is that as it vanished, it felt like it had never been there. You see? Now, it will no longer feel as though it has never been there because it will never have been there. You see? That is love. One love. The pulsing of the heart. In that meeting where many teachers gathered and where they were going to pass the torch and it did not happen. I'll tell you why it did not happen. Because, as was said before, there was no reason to pass any torch. And it was explained yesterday to the channel, and he thought, no, it doesn't feel right. But it is right. It is right. What is there to pass? Think about this. Think about children. So you have a child, or anyone in your life that you are training, teaching, looking after. And you think you have to pass all these things on to them. Everything that you have learned. Everything that you have been given. You see? And then when you die, they're going to inherit everything you ever had. Poor children. So there you go. You are suddenly free off the planet and they get dumped with all of your shit. And all of a sudden they have a house. And they have to start selling the house. Etc., etc., etc. Imagine a Lemuria. Imagine a new earth that would never be the same. Because it would always begin. This is what your scientists have gotten wrong from day one. They could look back into time. And they can, because of their telescopes, they can look back into the moment the universe was created. And they'll say, there was a Big Bang. And we are still the result of that Big Bang. That's what they say. The earth and everything and the laws of physics Wrong. There wasn't a Big Bang. There is a Big Bang. There is a Big Bang. Continuously taking place on earth. Alright? Everywhere in the universe. Continuously happening. Always expansive. Always beginning. And the more it begins, the more points of focus come in. And you have more space. And you see what infinite awareness is truly all about. Oh, my beloved brothers and sisters, dear human angels, you who have called yourself Imzaia and Shambra and Lightworker and Creator and Energy Weaver and so many different names. And you said, I have memories of Lemuria. I have memories of Atlantis. I was once a pharaoh. I was once this. The self is all. We are coming into a new time. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit carried away, but this is very exciting for me. We are coming into a new time where we no longer have to look at now. We can look at all. Because all is where expansive energy really resides. And I am asking the channel and those working with them to start bringing this out. There is a completely new way that is happening on earth. It is not a new way, but it is an expansive way. It's about the all. If you think back to the Big Bang, how can you make sure that it is happening? Simply because you are that moment also. You see? So often we have tried to bring this through so many channels. And they would always say, you are God also. Yeah, cool. Very cool. But what is God? God is a moment. God is time. God is space. God is you. God is so many different things. God is the yellow hat that is on your head. And God is your head. God is the smile, the laughter that is occurring over there. You see, you are this moment also. We are God meeting God. We are the Big Bang that is taking place. It is all happening now. And that is the power of all. As you become aware what the self truly is, then you will start to understand the self is all. And so, with no torch to be passed, with nothing that was ever important except for the beginning right now, we invite you into what we have lovingly called the waiting room, where we have been waiting. It's got many doors, it's got many ways to it. The waiting room is God, and it is you coming home to yourself, right here on earth, or wherever you want to do it. You coming home to self, and then finally, allowing the beginning to occur. Alright? So, all we can ask of you now is not to look back, because there's nothing to look back at. And if you do look back, you are going to find a space, as Katumi has said, that is completely different than what you expected or what you put in the brain here. That is the beauty of all, because there, in what you would call that beautiful creation that you have called the past, the Big Bang is occurring also. You see? There is no past which is fixed. There is a past which is fluid. There is a future which is fluid, but it is all the same space. Because it is all you. All of it. One love. pushed forward, pushed into a new beginning each and every time with one joy. One joy. Creating the one freedom, which is the new beginning on its own. You do not indeed, as was said, have to say goodbye to anything. Because you are everything. But, I'll tell you this. The big diff. You can no longer look at these things from the mind. The mind is a wonderful tool. There's so much already that's been said about the mind. But the reason why you had to let go, why you had to come to the place of no choice, is because that is the place for the mind, you see. The mind is not about choice. If the mind chooses, well, ta-da! Look around you. Look at Earth. The mind, when it is forced to choose, the poor mind, when it is forced to choose, becomes quite insane. Imagine this. Imagine that there is one little aspect of yourself. Imagine that all of the people here in the room, right? And the one sitting right there, that would be the mind. And that all of you continuously, with all your questions, would go, oh, what do I have to do? Where do I have to go? What do I have to choose? The mind goes quite insane. And that is what has happened. So it can no longer make any choices. So please put it in that space of no choice. Put the mind in between the heartbeats. And let the consciousness and the infinite awareness be the heartbeat that is always a new beginning. So, as Kuthumi has said, you will check in with the mind now and then, and then, and then. But it will be in a quiet space, a quiet moment, a moment of beauty. And then the mind is a wonderful reflector. Then the mind is a wonderful friend. But it can't make your choices. Because the mind cannot choose to begin again. You can. We have spoken so much, even today. We have spoken so much. Now we come to a place that we have always hoped we could take humanity towards. And it is, simply put, the heart space, where one recognizes one when one sees one. And that is the self. That is creation. That is creativity. It is love. It is joy. It is beauty. Innocence. Awareness. Nonsense. Freedom. All of these things wrapped in one moment of beginning. I'm going to close. Finally he's going to close. By saying this. Always choose to begin again. Always. You have no idea what magnificence you will create when you choose to begin again in every single moment. Because then you will make the conscious choice, creator. You will look at what a moment ago has been the past, and you'll say, is this what I want again? Is this the new beginning? And the past can no longer be repeated, because so very often you looked at your past energy and you copied it right into your near future, as you know. Now you will look at your past energy and you will expand on it. Difference is that you are now a painter that no longer every day goes into his atelier. I must be channeled in France somewhere at the moment. That goes into his space and has this white canvas and says, "Ooh, today I will take a little bit of blue and I'll put it here." And then, sorry. I just love.
It's all good.
Yes. So, and then the next day he goes back into his atelier and he says, "Oh, today I'm going to take a little bit of blue and put it here." And then the third day he goes into his atelier and he says, "Ooh, today," etc., etc., etc. And the blue gets repeated and repeated and repeated. Now, in a new beginning, it is time to start painting. You see? For real. Paint for real. Be expansive. We will look in the future back sometimes to old concepts that were presented in a world that we no longer consider to be real. We have said that we would create the platform with you. And in order to do so, we will not look back. So you can come to our space, but we will no longer come to your space. If you choose that your space is the old space, we will no longer be there. You can choose, you're free, but the threshold has been reached. And the waiting room has its 144,000 angels, and you are part of them. So, as this occurs, a new beginning is created over and over and over into infinity, which is infinite awareness, by the way, and that is where you will find us. That is where you can come and play with us, because that is where you are us and we are you. And it is nowhere out there, it is in here. In here. Look there to find us. Look there to find you. Look there to find all things. We are going now to be... I can't stop. We are going now... No, don't stop in the name of love. We are going now to talk. Not to you. We have been talking to you already. We are now going to talk to the channels, to everybody working with them. And we are going to allow the Big Bang to happen again. We are going to bring forth a completely new way of allowing the earth, bringing the information out, inspiring consciousness. We are going to do that in the coming days. Many things will change, will appear to change. And they won't. It will just be a new beginning. That is what is going to be happening now. We've already inspired conversations that took place in the last few days, as everything that you have ever been taught, everything that you have ever remembered, now reaches the zenith. Now. And so we will party with you. And so we have inspired those who we have been speaking through and the other ones to really create that party. To really create that luncheon that you could have together. To really do that in 3D. So yesterday, as Kuntumi beautifully called it, the magical forest. As you stepped through that magical forest and looked at yourself and washed away the old, so now You understand the difference between living space and working space, do you not? You are in your living space when you are in the continuous new beginning, but also dare to step back into the workspace. As you are now getting ready to go to your luncheon, as you will step out of this room, as you will move through the streets, do so in celebration. Celebrate the self. And poison everybody with your love. Make sure that those who you move next to, whose space that you enter, even though their mind might say, look at that weirdo, they can't but smile. Because they'll say, hey, actually I want to be that weird as well. You are in an unprecedented time. Unprecedented. And this expansion is going to occur more rapidly than you think. Choose, however, your moments when you are going to be in the workspace, in the 3D old energy earth. Choose your moments wisely. Choose your actions wisely. Be the artist that steps out there when it is needed. When I step into the Madonna, for instance, I know that those who watch my concert, that when I step out there, that they will go home in celebration. And sometimes I have to use a little sex and a little sexy movements. But there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Nothing. Because even sex, okay, we're gonna do the sex thing here. I'm gonna sex you up. Even sex is always new. Don't have sex in the way that you've always had sex. Choose in sex to create a new beginning as well. And that is what my Madonna creation has always been all about. Always. Whenever I became old, I turned new. Always. Whenever I saw that I would turn into this icon that would always be the same, I recreated, reinvented, began again. You see? And sometimes I had to use sex to do it. I had to get people's attention. And then I used spirituality. All of a sudden I was frozen. You only see what your eyes want to see, etc. And now I am reinventing that Madonna creation yet again as I'm creating another new beginning. And I'll always do this with myself. I'll always do this in everything I create. Always step into the new beginning. Which is not new at all because there was nothing that came before. And that is the last thing you must remember. As you create a beginning, don't think that you're going to reinvent the wheel because the wheel did not exist before the beginning came, all right? And that is the space that you're now about to step into. So be these inspirers. Be these pioneers. Oh, there's about to happen such a grand moment in the coming hours and days as space is invented. Not reinvented, but invented. As time is invented, as you are invented. It is indeed with the greatest honor that I say, I love you. I love you. I love you. You love me. we all love each other. And that's showbiz. And so it is.
So it is.